Hi, I'm Tim Palumbo, and I'm here at the Tech Annex again, and I'm going to explain a little bit about hardware and keyboards and getting your keyboards and controllers into FL Studio. So right here I have a Casio electronic piano, and this is more of a basic setup. You have your headphones, power, and your sustain pedal right here. There's no Midi capability with this one, and when I say Midi capabilities, I mean actual Midi ins and outs. Everything is done through USB, which is over here, and this is what you'll be using for this type of controller, is the USB. With technology and the way everything's going, everything's switching to USB, and it is it's pretty much the same as using MIDI cables, but it's smaller and a little more efficient and universal. So with this Casio, you're going to be using a basic USB cable. This is the more bigger ones, and the other end is connected into the computer. And before I go into the computer and FL Studio to show you how to do that, we're going to move over to this next MIDI controller, which has a lot more components on the back. Alright, so here we have an M Audio Axiom 25. There's only 25 keys, and this is perfect for laying down simple melodies and beats, because it has the pads on it, as well as a bunch of assignable knobs. But let's take a look at the back, because this is where we're going to focus on how we're going to be able to wire into FL Studio and other computers. It uses the same USB as the Casio did, except now this one has a MIDI in and out, which is right here and here. And you can use this with a MIDI cable that can go into an audio interface, which an audio interface would give you the capabilities of using MIDI chains, which is connecting 2 or 3 of these at the same time, which that's a little more advanced. And you also have your sustain pedal, as well as power switch. And that's pretty much all for this. But what you're going to really be using in Annex is the USB. A lot of things are USB around here, so you're going to really be using just this one cable, unless you have your own audio interface with MIDI cable capabilities, which the MIDI out is what you would want to connect into. But now we're going to head over to the computer, and we are going to show you how to actually connect all this stuff to FL Studio.
Okay, now that we're in FL Studio here, I'm going to show you how we're going to make all these devices work in FL Studio. So we're wired in, you can see what I'm doing, and first we're going to go up to Options, and you're going to select MIDI settings. F10 is the shortcut key for this, so if you press F10 on your typing keyboard, it'll bring up the settings right away. And you're going to see that there's going to be a lot of things here that might be a little bit confusing, but we're only going to focus on one thing. We're going to focus on the input. So now you can see that there are inputs in here, and you can see that there's a Sapphire 6 USB, which is an audio interface. There's the Axiom 25 MIDI, and the Casio MIDI is in there as well. There will be a time where you will probably connect these devices into the computer and they won't show up. Well, why aren't they showing up? Well, that's because you have to refresh the list for FL Studio to check if there's anything else connected to the computer. What you can do if you don't see what you're looking for, you can go down to here to this button that says Rescan MIDI Devices. You click that, and it's going to refresh and rescan for MIDI devices, and then that should come up. Usually you do not need any drivers or any installation CDs with these MIDI devices. If it comes with a CD for you to install, I me personally, I wouldn't recommend running that installation. Plug it in first and see if your workstation, your digital workstation can see it. If it sees it and it works and it's fine, then you should be set to go. But also some other MIDI controllers do require a driver that you install for all the features to work. But every feature that is on the Axiom 25 and the Casio keyboard work without a driver, so that's good. It's plug and play. You don't need to worry about anything else. So let's get these enabled. First of all, you're going to see that you can click and select one of them. Right now I'm going to select the Axiom 25 MIDI in, and you can see it's already enabled. But usually if it wasn't, you would select it and you would select enable. So now that that controller is enabled, you can go and find the next controller, depending on how many you have connected. You can have as many as your computer allows you to have connected. So now we see the Casio USB MIDI. Now that one is enabled too, but if it wasn't, you would just click it and then select enable. So we can, once that's done, you can X out of this box, and now everything should work. And you should be able to see up here in the upper left hand corner, it says MIDI input activity. Green equals unhandled, red means handled. So both, if your MIDI controllers are in and you want to test and see if they work, these will either, this light will either turn green or red, and this will determine whether or not there is an input or not. So I'm going to press some keys on the keyboards on both of them and see if they are both connected and working. And both controllers are working, and we did it. This is it. Everything's connected. You can now you can load up a VST or anything like that, or a plugin, and now you can play with your MIDI controllers. And that's all for this little tutorial. All this stuff is available at Tech Annex and Blue Island Public Library, where you can use the Axiom 25 MIDI controller, and we also do have a Yamaha digital keyboard as well that functions the same way with the USB MIDI in it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video very informative, and this will make your workflow in your productions a little more spicy and interesting. Thank you for watching.
This has been a Tech Annex production.